Recording? Yes. More cat videos. I hope you enjoyed this. This is the VHS back in the day video. Cat now lets me pet him, and I'm very happy about that. He appears to be very happy too. See, we had for the past couple nights, my friend Candace has had to stay over here. She doesn't have any power at her place. She she bought one of those little homes, with all the little house, and she'd been paying to rent the place, but she made friends with these guys down at the end of the road after she lived at another person's house I know, and they were. What's up, kitty cat? Kitty cat's always busy. See, we have Bubba Dog here, and Bubba's a very old friend. He's a pit bull. He's lived here before with me, and one night, me and Bubba Dog just went out to make our little round to check on shit, and we went out the back door, and we came around, and we came in the front door, and he had blood all in his head. Like his whole head up on the top was pooled with blood, and his eye was bleeding. Not his eyeball, but his eye. And he had never made a sound. He was right behind me. We literally just walked a circle around the house to check on shit. Well, we took him to the vet, and it's like a snake or something got him. But they didn't know, they're like, maybe it was a fucking raccoon, and it got swollen up, and he got that real melancholy. You know how you get when you if you got stabbed by one of them blades in what do you call it? See, he's not as scared anymore, and he'll let me pet him. Just for a brief period of time, but now he knows that I'm not trying to grab him, and he's not so shy. I don't know if I've ever had a cat like that just come from just any old nowhere, and then not let me touch him, but slowly every day get closer and closer, and I don't have any idea where he came from. He just wandered up. But I do take it as a external manifestation of my own self. I think of myself as more like a cat than a dog. Although I have been working on my own interpersonal dog for such reasons as shape-shifting technology. Shape-shifting technology? Is it a technology? I like to think that in a way it is. I'm not telling you that I fucking want to be a werewolf and hunt people down, or no, nothing like that. It's not what I'm saying. But years ago, and it could have been at least 6. I had another friend, and I told her, and it was like prophecy, because I knew. I don't know how I knew. I knew. I said, it's like this. You've got a cat and a dog. You raise them up to the level of lion or tiger and wolf and bear, and then you blend them into some sort of synthesis, some sort of lion bear dog man. Well, I mean, I didn't tell her that, but I'm like, over the time, that's going to be sort of what's going on, and at that time, you would probably be back. Well, at that time, she did. She had came back, but most of that had already occurred already too. But it occurs again, I guess, in a different way. Because I've had all the other dogs come. First it was like a wolf dog. And it stayed like a week on the porch. And it was crazy during that week. Like, the house got attacked by quail birds. Those weird pheasants. And I have a picture of it in it. Like the one, it's on the back, on the pole, because I was sitting at the front door looking out at the dog. He's looking at me. We're like talking. You know, I could pet the dog. The dog didn't have a problem with that. But I couldn't let the dog inside. The dog got really crazy if he went inside, just start running around, and he didn't know how to act inside. So I let him go outside. But when it was cold, I didn't want him to freeze and shit. You know. And I like animals, but I've never really had my own animal. Just for he's attacking at my feet. But I love animals. But I never felt like I would have my own dog. I never felt like that's necessary for me. But I like animals when they come around. Mostly they like me, pretty much. Some of them don't, you know. But hey, I think it's important to get your relationship to animals on point. Because if you can't be decent to an animal, you're not going to be real decent to a human. And you might not think that that's true. But, you know, with the synchronization of the TV, like I say, I don't watch TV. But I watch for the synchronizations of the TV show. And on the NCIS show, when I went in there, see, Gibbs had, there was a dog that ran out into the street on the show. And an army truck had to dodge to miss it and hit a tree, and a missile came out. So I guess they investigated. I don't know. My dad told me this much. And he followed into the woods to see where the dog came from and found like a pond where they were putting dogs in cages and drowning them. And Gibbs, being the guy that he is, you know, I like the shows sometimes. You know, so I check for the themes. Anyway, he beat the shit out of the guy that was torturing the dogs. He had a dog fighting ring. And they just released all the dogs in the thing. Well, the guy released them because he was gonna get busted. You know, but Gibbs got in trouble because he beat the shit out of him. And you know what? I don't think that's an inordinate response. People that hurt animals, like, I mean, hurt them. You know what I mean. There's a difference between somebody that's has an animal and they're trying to discipline it than somebody that's just trying to hurt a fucking animal. Drinking my soda? You can't drink that. You want some milk, little cat? See, I'm worried about Bubba because Bubba's so big. Bubba's eating all kinds of animals. I don't want Bubba to eat the cat. And the cat's got the right response to Bubba, though. But you know what? They could be friends. You know? Now, my friend, the first night that she came over here, I mean, she's got a heart condition. She had to go to the hospital, and she's got, because she got too big. She wasn't as big, you know. Sometimes, you know, I don't know what happens, why sometimes you just get really big and fat. Because some people that get real big and fat, like, they don't seem to eat much more. Now, maybe I'm missing something because I don't watch them all the time. I'm fairly fat, but only in my gut area. But I think part of it is the food that we have to eat that's available to all of us isn't really the best food. We eat pretty good. I mean, because my dad can only eat steak. He's got malabsorption, and, you know, there's certain shit he can't eat. He had to he did drug studies and stuff for having heartburn. And he has bad heartburn. And so do I, usually. I have to drink baking soda water and shit to neutralize it, or I won't be able to sleep. It'll choke me out. You know, and it's bad. But I don't eat too much junk food. You know, I don't eat a bunch of chips and bullshit, but I drink a shitload of these motherfuckers. I'm trying to stop. I'm going to try to start drinking more tea. I started getting that opium lettuce, and that's a really good thing. If you've got somebody that's in pain, you can cook that stuff up and make tea out of it. And it's a better painkiller than Narcos. It really is. It's not narcotic, but, you know, because it doesn't fuck you up, but it kills the pain. You know, so it's really a blessing because it's all over the fucking place. And I don't know, you know, if anybody's, you know, a lot of people don't know about it. It's that white milky plant. I should have made the videos while I was making it. They would have been a good topic, but I didn't do it. I was too busy at the time. My dad was really sick. He's going to have to go to the hospital tomorrow probably and get, he's got a tumor growing through his, he's got a breathing tube because, they took out his larynx. And, you know, I really don't think it's because of cigarette smoke. I really don't. You know, there's been this weird shit in the air and it started fucking with him a ways back. But, I don't know. One time he said, but he was trying to offset because he was buying some bottles of wine at the liquor store. And I was getting my cigarettes and he's like, yeah, he didn't learn from me because he has to talk with that thing. But I think he was doing it as a joke, but you know what I mean? Because I smoke cigarettes. And it does make it hard to breathe. But you know what? I don't subscribe to cancer. Like, I'm not yielding to cancer just because it's there. I'm not letting my mind believe or give a place to cancer. Just because I smoke doesn't mean I'm going to expect to have cancer. I'm not. In fact, I'm going to expect to not have cancer. And if I do, I won't. That's really all I can say about that. But I like him lounging about. And I like Bubba a little bit. I mean, Bubba's just a little bit too insane with his begging for food. You know. But that dog can walk around with me. If he goes outside with me, we have spent so much time together synchronized that, like, he'll go next to me and he'll check around the area. And, like, if he's running and I'm running, he'll run and he'll tap my leg. And then when he taps my leg, he'll loop off further, and he'll do it on both sides. And it's like we both know what's going. When we are like in the woods or whatever the fuck together, we are both like an animal, like one animal, and it's pretty cool because, you know, look, I'm getting the tingles because I mean it's shareable. If I've learned anything from Dan Winters, you know, they talk about when you share something, you know, you have to have your emotions when you experience bliss in your brainwaves and whatever, you know, you have to get this plasma thing and it's a shareable wave. And when it becomes shareable, it's like a longitudinal wave a transverse wave turns into a longitudinal wave, where it like rolls over the whole curve of the wave. Vorticity transmits through that point perfectly, and it shoots it into that other way. And that's what all these weapons that they're using are made of. They call it scalar, but it's not really scalar. And if you read anything or listen to anything on the Thomas Bearden physics, you'll know that that's the weapons they're using now when they're saying on the news people are attacked by some sort of directed energy weapon. Well, that's what it is. And it can do a lot of shit because however they modulate that wave, it has an enfolded Whittaker structure, which means basically they can put into the wave any like frequency that represents a disease, you know, a sickness, a COVID, like with these antennas. A lot of people aren't realizing that most of this COVID shit is these antennas, because they've used this to mask their continuing buildup of the 5G, and a lot of people have fell off the topic of that because, you know, people did start waking up and raising shit about it. So you notice when this COVID shit hit, it really was in a good time for them to cover up the 5G stuff, because the 5G stuff is really bad, but it allows them to use those scalar technologies against you. That's why it's the millimeter wave. but I just thought I would share.